Hello everybody and welcome yourselves back to another ACC stream. It is finally playoffs time. We're going to be starting off with the Division 4 playoffs today. It's going to be some super exciting stuff, and yeah, I hope you all will enjoy the stream. Sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Before we get into it, gotta introduce ourselves at the casting desk. Of course, my name is Stella and joining me is going to be Chloe. How are you today?
Hi. I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well myself. Thank you for asking. So as we mentioned, Chloe, we got ourselves Division 4 playoffs here. We got some four pretty strong rosters coming into this one. We have Brutal Base, TT, Paradigm, the GC Pop, and Ascension, Helios, who have all fought hard throughout the season to make it here today, and now they're fighting not just for that Division 4 title, but they want to get themselves into Division 3. So the stakes are going to be high. But we got our first match on the agenda here, which I believe is Brutal Base and Ascension Helios facing up against each other. So yeah, what are we expecting going into this match, Chloe? What do you think of it?
I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't seen these people play in the season, but basing off the fact that they made playoffs is already a great thing. And like, I don't think like it's gonna be like a one-sided match, because if you made playoffs, you should be able to compete against the other players in that made playoffs. But it all depends on who's playing the best today.
Yeah, you make a great point there. Rocket League oftentimes, especially at the pro level, you see this, it's whoever plays better on the day really is what can decide it. Some people don't like that, but really it's the way it is. But if we take a look at the last time these two played, Brutal Base actually got a 3-0 sweep over Ascension Helios. So based on that one result alone, you could say the Brutal Base are heavily favoured in this match. But with all things considered, it's one, a best of 7, and two, it's the circumstances are different because that was a league play match, and when you're in playoffs now, the stakes are much higher, and you never know how Brutal Base could perform under that pressure. So yeah, it's gonna be some super exciting stuff to see if Ascension can cause potentially an upset here. They are the underdogs after all, being 4th seed against the 1st seed in this one. So I think now, Chloe, it's about time we get into the predictions for our first game. So I'll give it to you first. Who did you got to win?
Yeah, basing on what you just said to me, I would say Brutal Base is gonna take it. Of course, they're #1 seed, so you expect something from them. They went they killed every single opponent they had. They literally just won everything, which is like, you should expect them to win this one as well. But Ascension Helios can do something here, and I just hope they will do something, and that's why I go for them.
Okay, so interesting pick. I must say, yeah, I do hope so that Ascension Helios will come out and surprise us in this one. I like to see the underdogs coming out, putting up a performance and surprising everyone, because that's what makes for the more exciting matches, where a team you don't expect to do so well actually starts to pop up and you're like, wow, you're really shocked. But I think for this match, based on the previous result, I will say I'll go with Brutal Base as well. I think in most cases they should be winning this. They went undefeated in the season after all, and they didn't lose one match. So I mean, really impressive stuff for them. And against the other playoff teams, they only took they've only had 2 games taken off of them, which is really impressive.
That's impressive, dude.
Yeah, very impressive indeed. So there's no wonder they have a plus 14 game difference after all. That just shows that they're the best in the division by quite some margin. But Ascension Helios, we're not going to count them out because we see some of the names on that roster, and they could do some great things. So I do hope for some competitive match. But I think now we're going to head into the series now. Both teams are ready. So yeah, we'll be back right after the map animation for the first game. Alright, so we're in here with the first match of the Division 4 playoffs. Ascension, Helios, and Brutal Base, they're facing off in this best of 7 series. Is going to be some super exciting stuff. So, Chloe, take it away.
Well, yeah. Prospect just hitting it over Bubbly here. Great play. Asper just trying to get it high. Doesn't manage to. Breaches with a beautiful block. Truman trying to get it out, but just Tristan there. Passing to Bubbly. Bree up for the ball. No one there to follow it up. A bit unfortunate. Oh, and that was close from Josh Tristan there. Great passing play from Asper there. There we are, Bree trying to clear it out of the side. Asper taking this one from the wall. Trying to pass it middle for a teammate, but no one was there, unfortunate. Tristan trying to get it past Ruben. Oh, little unfortunate bump there. Between Brutal Base there. Prospect trying to clear it out. Does it great there. Bree trying to get the shot off, but it doesn't really work. Ruben trying to pass it mid back to Bree. Bubbly there for the clear. Beautiful clear, and then that is actually open. And that's the first goal for Brutal Base.
Yeah, Brutal Base starting off here. You see Bubbly just getting a crossfield bang. You don't see these going into often, but you see Prospect. He was just pushed up a little bit too far. And Ruben, he was just a little bit too late to make that save. And, maybe an unlikely first goal here. Not in a fashion we would expect. But it's Brutal Base the favourites taking the first goal of the series, getting this one off on the right foot.
Well, Bree there with a miss, trying to redirect it again. I mean, Ascension here, they had really good pressure there, but Brutal Base just having the upper hand on them. Bree trying to clear this out again. Asper there for the block. Asper trying to get another block from Bree, but Bree there, great work from her. Asper trying to pass back to Bubbly. Bubbly tries to pass it back to Asper, if I believe so. Bree trying to get it away from them, and she does a really good job of doing that. Prospect trying to hit it to the corner. Gets a good demo off on Bubbly. Didn't have to boost to manage a pass, but it's all fine now. Truben trying to go for the ball there. Asper beating them with a big speed. Truben now with a free ball, 1-1 on Bubbly. Does a great job on flicking it over. The Bubbly here trying to go for the shot. Doesn't really work. Luckily Tristan is there to clear the ball away again for Brutal Base.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Brutal Base in this match. As we see, they scored another goal, Josh, this time off of Bubbly's pass again. We just see him making that banger down the field, and then Josh right in the box. No one contesting that on the side of Ascension Helios. You really want someone on that, but yeah, Brutal Base looking super solid. Not faced by Ascension Helios at all, really. And one thing I'd like to point out, Ascension Helios have not had that great pressure so far in this game. They've had their chances, but it just seems like, it's only one person on that attack and no one really supporting. And Brutal Base have had no problems with dealing with it. They just seem super solid with their rotations, and so 1:40 left, 2-goal lead, and they're looking really comfortable and poised to take the first game.
Asper there with a great pass to Tristan. Tristan just not managing to hit the ball there. Bubbly tried to get it into the net, but Bree was there trying to pass it mid for someone. No one is there. Prospect just waiting to get a clear off, trying to bait Bubbly into the corner. Asper here with an opportunity, with the flick, almost in. Tristan couldn't get the follow-up. Asper trying to clear it out, just for their team to get some boost. Great try on the passing play from Bubbly there. Oh, Bubbly with the pass, trying to pass to Asper here. Was the great chance, not gonna lie. Prospect beating Josh on that ball. Bubbly just taking the pressure away from Ascension Helios. They just don't have the pressure, or like they do have the pressure, but it just gets taken out like immediately.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. You know, I said it a bit earlier, but whenever Ascension Healers have had any kind of pressure, it just gets swiped away from them. And you know, having sustained pressure against a team like Brutal Base in particular is something you need. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be harder to create chances. Clock ticking down, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-goal victory here for Brutal Base. A very solid first game for them. And it's really what we expected out of them, you know, the number 1 team against the number 4 team. You're looking really good. You take a look at the match stats here. 6 shots to 2 really says it all for Brutal Base. They just had more of those chances and basically shut out Ascension Helios. And so it's going to be a tough task for Ascension. They just got to, you know, try and keep that pressure up. You know, be a little bit more aggressive, more willing to take some risks. Because you know, if they don't do that, then they're just going to have a much harder time in the rest of the series. They just can't, you know, take Brutal Base out of their comfort zone. Because if Brutal Base is just being allowed to do what they're doing now, then I cannot see Ascension winning this one, sadly.
Yeah, I think I agree on your statement here. But like Ascension Helios had the pressure, but I think they just have to work on getting it actually through. And if they do that, I think they have at least a chance to compete with Brutal Base here. And I hope to see that because it's manageable. From what I've seen, it's manageable.
Yeah, indeed. I think it is very manageable for Ascension, you know. You need to just, you know, again, just finishing your chances. Like I mentioned in, you know, previous games in ECC, you know, whenever you get those chances, even if you've got very little chances like they did in that last game, you just got to finish them. And so going into game 2, they're just going to look to improve on that, try to get themselves more of those opportunities and make sure they can score them. They want to take Brutal Base out of their comfort zone. It's a 1-0 advantage of Brutal Base, but the series is far from over. It's a best of 7. What on earth, Ruben? We're just going to take a look at this again.
Truben just... I think Truben just panicked and tried to clear it out, but he just didn't get his way on this touch. Pretty unfortunate.
Really unfortunate indeed, man. That's not the way I expected this game to kick off here, but yeah, if you're driven, you just gotta like shake it off really, because I mean, it happens.
Yeah, you have a couple of games to go still, so there is there is pressure of course because it's playoffs, but there is not that much pressure because you still have that many games to play if you try to take a couple games off them.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk about mentality of teams as well, you know, you can't let, you know, even if it's a pretty big mistake, such as an own goal like that, you know, you don't want to let it get to your head, because if that happens, you're just going to get tilted and it will make you perform worse overall. So for Driven, just got to shake it off. It does not matter. You've still got plenty of this series left, and surely they can come back into this one. It's a minute through in this game. A bit of a mess on defense for Ascension Helios, I must say, but look at your transition now, and potentially get some chances.
Yeah, it's kind of like the gameplay here is kind of floppy. Like everyone is just like panicking a little bit. They just have to shake it off, what you said, and then focus on what they're doing right now.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to see how the rest of this game pans out. It's a minute and a half gone. Ascension still struggling to keep any sustained pressure up, but they're at least managing to get into the Brutal Base half, and this is a chance developing here, but there's no one in the center there to receive it. I would have liked Bree, even though she started man, to push up for that one and get that shot. Maybe it's just that, you know, lack of confidence really to, you know, take those risks, because really, you know, in my eyes at least, that was not a risky play for Bree to take. You know, you go in, take that shot. If they clear it over you, who cares? There should be a person rotating back with that one. As I say, play developing here, probably looking to get this one out, but again, a bit of sloppy gameplay here, as you said, Clay.
Yeah.
Halfway through this game, it's looking a little bit better for Ascension at least. They are managing to get some more chances, but it's not amounting to anything just yet.
I know what you're saying, like Ascension actually gets some pressure, but as we say that, Bubbly just beats the defenders here for a 2-0. Great play from Bubbly.
And it was a great play. Just takes it himself. The slots are past the last man, and you know, this goes to show the individual quality of some of these players. Bobley could just do that and basically mugs off the entire defense. You just love to see it from him, and so 2-0 now for Brutal Base. Look at just continue their form here. You know, it's been a little bit scarier for them this game, especially with chance like this coming out, and finally, it's Ascension Helios getting their first goal, and it is Bree to do it, Clay.
Yeah, this is actually a really good shot from Bree. Just didn't even wait for the bounce, just shot it right into the net. The defender just didn't think that would happen, and it's actually a beautiful shot for the 2-1.
Yeah, beautiful shot indeed. Just caught the defenders pushed out a little bit too far, so very lovely from Bree there to get the first goal for Ascension Helios. I think that's what they needed. You know, they've been striving to get that first goal for ages, but now that they got it, maybe a little bit more confidence in their system. And so we'll see how it pans out. It's 2 minutes left to go. Bree got a little bit pushed up there. It's going to be Driven going to take it out. And we'll see Bree. She's going to try to take it downfield. Prospect going for a low percent shot there. Doesn't, you know, maybe could have taken a little bit more time on that, but regardless. Now a bit of a midfield battle here. We see Josh trying to get onto the backboard, and now here comes Bubbly for a shot, but he misses it. And now it's a 2-on-1 situation for Ascension. Bree trying to take it herself, but it's just challenged right away. As Josh with another shot. Prospect gonna put it down the field. Bubbly now was the wing. Tristan back into the centre. I'm liking the passing plays coming out from Brutal Base, but we're approaching a minute left, and you know, it's looking like a little bit more of a stalemate now, Clay, but Ascension, he's still got it in them to potentially bring this game back, I think.
Yeah, they actually do, but they do need to score their chances, and as I say that, Bubbly, yet again, scores an amazing aerial right into net. Bree just couldn't really do anything, and had an unfortunate backflip there.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Bree, just, you know, that backflip. It happens to the best of us as well, but yeah, great angle on the net from Bubbly, uncontested, and just drops it nicely into the net, so very well done from him. This is now a 3-1 lead. Ascension still trying to get themselves back in the game, but it's going to be a tough task. This Prospect has a chance here, but a very light touch. It could still end up going in. Bree's trying to force it through. But it's saved off the line as now Asbar is taken out of the air by Druben. So Bubbly taking that corner boost from Bree, it looks like. So you see Josh pinch it with Asbar actually, and does boom it right down the other end. As we see Druben gonna try and make a play here. Asbar just trying to force it into the opposing half as a Prospect, just contesting it. Josh with another shot on net. What a save from Bree though. Managed to get back just in time for it. So we see Bubbly with a drop out to Asbury. Went for the free jump actually. Now Josh following it up off the post. So Ascension looking to potentially get the consolation, but Driven can't do it. As now Brutal Base taking game 2, 3-1. Again, very solid performance from them.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Brutal Base just taking this one pretty confidently, I would say. Well, yet again with like a 2-goal lead. Ascension Helios really had like, they were playing better, but like at the beginning was kind of sloppy. I hope they will fix it next game. Like, of course, everyone is pretty scared over like nervous, which we obviously expect from this. But Ascension Helios, like with the goal that they scored, I think they can do it. They just have to look more for each other. Because Brutal Base, if you saw the two couple games we just saw, they were trying to get the passes going, and they worked. Even though they didn't really necessarily lead to a goal, they were like keys of things that I saw that really made this match different.
Yeah, indeed. We talk about nerves actually when we come into these matches. You know, when the stakes are a bit higher, you know, some players will have a tendency, you know, they get a little bit too timid perhaps. And you know, for me myself as a a player, and you know, maybe Clay, you can also relate to this. But nerves can, you know, they can have a positive and negative effect on people. You know, sometimes it makes people play a lot worse, but other times it maybe motivates them to play better in some situations. So it can oftentimes bring the best or worst out of people in general. but I can definitely relate to some of the players in this field on the field. You know, I noticed just in Ascension's playstyle, they were maybe a little bit hesitant going for chances. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
when I'm thinking, okay, if I were this person, you know, I would for sure go for this. It's maybe a bit risky, but
But it could pay
you
off.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, it could pay off exactly. And when you're in competitive play, you've got to take those chances. Otherwise, well,
You're not
how
gonna
do you
score.
expect to win? Exactly. So now we're gonna head into the third game of the series, and it looks to be Brutal Base trying to start off again, but great save off the line by Drubin, and he will be the one to take it out as well. And yeah, it's looking very good for Brutal Base in this series. 2-0 up. They've only got to win 2 more to reach the finals of the Division 4 playoffs. But never seeing Ascension actually going for demos, actually, and this is something I should actually bring up as well. Going for those demo plays, it's the meta right now in Rocket League, and I'm liking just, you know, Ascension, even if Driven maybe didn't intentionally do it, but those demos can work, especially against a team like Brutal Boost who play incredibly solid. And if you're Ascension, you may be thinking, well, demos could work out for you. If you could just, you know, get a demo whilst you're rotating out, maybe it could open up a bit more space for you to work with. Which I think for Ascension, they've struggled a little bit with, you know, maybe not, you know, they've gotten chances, sure. But when you're trying to keep the pressure on your opposition, maybe that's something you should consider.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, demos are so good to just create space, and I think Ascension Helios need the space because Tristan here, he's just the nail in the coffin. Like, every time he's just there for the shot. Aspar here with a beautiful pass into middle. Bree just couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, Bree just sat a little bit too far back, if you like, for that pass. Asbar being allowed that much space into it, it's just a classic tapping off the back wall and then into the center. And then Josh, as you said, he's just there for that shot. You know, he's confident in himself, getting himself in there and just slamming it home. And, you know, sometimes for people at this level, it's difficult to read those, but oh my god, what a pass from Prospect to Bree. And they're answering back real quick here, Clay. What a play.
Yeah, this is what I said. They have to try and get more passing plays together because they had 0 of them. They just tried to do individual things, and here you literally see a beautiful example of what I just said.
Yeah, it was beautiful indeed. You know, that's the best way to put it, really. You don't see that often at the Division 4 level, actually, people going for these passes, but I just love to see them because, you know, when you're seeing players like these just scoring plays like that, you're like, well, it just shows how, you know, well developed a team can be if they can pull together those plays. But as I say that, it's Asbar now answering back again with a floater into the net.
Yeah, exactly. Probably here trying to get some sort of a redirect going, and it just accidentally goes to Asbar. Asbar just putting it to the backside of the net. No one could reach it. Beautiful play from Asbar.
Yeah, it was very nice from Asbar there, just doing it himself, and it's a pretty high-scoring game already. But as I say, that Prospect trying to force it through, and it's Bree to clean it up. Just seems like a shootout at the moment. It's 2-2 with 2 minutes in. I just Prospect forcing the issue on that one.
Yeah, an amazing 50 from Prospect there. Just getting it into the middle for Bree. Bree's like, oh yeah, we know we scored those. And she's like, bum, it's in. And it's 2-2. Like I said, they can still pull it around. And they show it right here.
Yeah, they are showing it for sure. You know, Ascension Helios, they're in the playoffs for a reason, and they are a quality team. They're showing their class right there. Just, you know, maybe some would call it a bit of a cheap goal, but it's just Prospect. He's just throwing himself in there, trying to get something going, because it's what you have to do. But what a demo there! Oh my goodness, Josh. And we talk about the demo plays, Chloe. It's coming out again.
Like, maybe it's just some caster curses or whatever. Like, everything we say, they do. So weird. But yeah, exactly. Like, beautiful demo from just there. Just an open net for Bubbly, which makes it 3-2 again for Brutal Base, taking up the upper hand here.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a mistouch there as well from Bree. She accidentally hit it back into the defense. It was still perfectly savable, but Josh just taking the last man out, and there was really no chance for the Ascension defense. So very well played for Josh. It's now Asbar in field to Bubbly, but a little bit too much power on it. As we see Josh with a high touch. It's coming down off the ceiling. Dribbin getting a touch out to the side walls. The prospect looking to make a center again. Here comes Dribbin for the shot. It's just over, but it is an open net for prospect, and you love to see it from these guys' story.
This is like the second one in like of one game, and like the only game I've seen passing plays from them, and they both worked. Both of them worked. I think they will try to find each other more now and get more confident in their play.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just the way they have to do it. Go for those passing plays because it seems to work really well from Helios. And as I say that, it's again open net from Prospect. What on earth is happening here to Brutal Base? It's Ascension Helios, I believe, for the first time in the series, have taken the lead.
Yeah, but yeah, Josh there, he had a really hard read there. So yeah, it's really hard to hit that ball there from the backboard. So I don't blame him for the miss, and he shouldn't do that too because it will just wreck his mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Mentality is very important in this game. You make one mistake, it's fine. Just shake it off. And even in the context of this game, sure, Helios, they've gotten the lead, but Brutal Base has shown what they can do. They can bring the games back if they want to, but not if Dribbin's doing it all by himself. 5-3 now, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good play from Dribbin, just taking it once and then just flicking it. Tristan just didn't expect it at all, and Truman just nails it into the net.
Yeah, my guy just nailed it right there. Just slamming it through. It's a minute and a half left, a 2-goal lead for Ascension. Looking really good to actually get themselves a game on the board, which would be the first time this season they're taking a game off of Brutal Base, so it'd be a great achievement for them. As a little bit of pressure coming out for Brutal Base. Here comes Breeze. Doesn't manage to land contact on it, but Prospect will get a touch out to the corner. Follow up as well to clear out of the defense. It's now Asbar trying to get it, but he can't do much with it. Now Prospect and Bubbly facing off. Is Bubbly to get it out. So Bree pushing into the other half. A minute left. Here comes Josh taking it high into the center. Asbar touching it over though. Great center. Has now a bit of panic on the side of the Ascension defense. The shot going high, but no follow-up. As we see the Asbar now getting a boomer down the field. Knows the defense. Dribbin though tracking back. And it's just 40 seconds left. Ascension Helios seemingly hanging on by a thread at the moment.
Yeah, like you said, like they're hanging on a thread, but they have like 2 goals now, and they're only 30 seconds left. And I mean, I think this game is almost done already. Probably had his chance to put it in the net, but he unfortunately just missed it, which is like, yeah, you can do that, miss a ball. Who doesn't miss the ball? But here, as I say that, he gets another chance, he just scores. 4, 5, 10 seconds remaining on the clock. It's actually doable for Brutal Base here.
Yeah, it's doable, and what absolute banger from Bubbly. There's great speed on that, and he just completely outpaces the defender. 10 seconds. Can they do it? Can Brutal Base tie it up? Any amount of time is enough time. As you see Prospect now just trying to keep it in the opposing half. It's now Bubbly trying to get a touch on it. He can't land it, and Asborg is being taken out of the game. Dribbin just kills it, and Ascension Helios take the third game. 2-1 still for Brutal Base, but Ascension starting to look a lot better in this series, and really they could be making this one competitive play.
Yeah, exactly. Like what we said already, or what I said already, they can take a game or more off of him, and they literally showed that right here. Like even when Brutal Base scored that, like the fourth goal from them, like it didn't really matter. You have like 10 seconds. Of course, you're gonna be a bit shaky, but you should be confident in your kickoff. And that's exactly what happened. I think they're just gonna take game 2, 3, or like, what is it again? Game 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just gonna win. I think that's actually gonna happen. But we will see how it goes, because if Ascension Helios keeps this up, they're capable of beating Brutal Base here. But Brutal Base, as they shown, they can come back, but it was just not enough time for this one.
Yeah, not enough time, but they've still got more games of the series. They've still got the advantage in terms of games, but Ascension Helios, I'd say they've grown into this series, really, you could say. Got themselves more comfortable, and I think now they're starting to show truly what they're capable of. So it's 2-1 up still for Brutal Base, but Ascension 3 games still to win, but it's, you know, in the realms of possibility for them because they're a quality team. So we're going into the 4th game of the series. We're going to see how both teams manage as Asbar is just putting this one into Prospect, and that's a boomer onto the back. We're probably trying to get to it. It's now dropping in front of the net, but Josh is getting onto it. It's now driven. Really aggressive push onto the defender there as Asbar puts it over to the right side. Prospects now. Infield to Bree again, and 2 defenders forced onto that one. And now Driven going for another shot, the bouncing shot there. Bree coming in for one more, but it is just not enough. It's now Prospect trying to keep the pressure going, but it looks like Brutal basically take it out. And boy, that was a really exciting start to the game, Chloe. Lots of pressure going up Ascension.
Yeah, it was actually a really good play there from Truben passing to Bree, if I was correctly. And it was like such a good pass, but Bree just couldn't get the right touch there. But it still made it a little bit shaky in Brutal Base. Like, Brutal Base have to respect the chances that Ascension Helios are getting right now, because they are on fire. And like, you can see from their rotation and positioning, they're actually going way more for the ball and like trying to get those plays, and it shows. It shows in the results that they're playing way more risky.
Yeah, and I feel like that was something they were afraid to do earlier in the series, is take those risks. But as soon as they started playing more aggressive, trying to force the issue, they've just, you know, been shining really in their playstyle, and it's just great to see. And early on in this game, they've been doing just that. There's a bit of a dangerous chance comes out for the Brutal Base side, but it is cleared away. So Bubbly taking his time, passing it infield to Asbar, a high touch, but it will be in the hands of Dribbin. Now Josh trying to get out, but he just forces a clear. So Bree forces it into the side wall. Prospect now trying to get to it, a bit awkward for him as Asbar sends it into the opposing half. Dribbin now with a light touch, a bit of a scramble. Here is now Bree. Let's take her time on it, puts it past one, and actually forces one into the middle. Bubbly now has to get a clear, but Prospect waits patiently and slams it in. And it's the first goal for Ascension Helios again.
Yeah, exactly. Bree there just took 2 50s in the correct way, just passing it straight into Prospect. Prospect just saying, I got it, and he just bangs it. 1-0 up. 3 minutes remaining. I can think, like, they're playing so much better right now.
Yeah, a lot better. I'm just, you know, love to see how Ascension have improved in this series, and they're showing it again. You know, Bree just taking it herself, forcing 250s, as you said, and gets into the center, and then Prospect just has to bang it into the net, which is exactly what he does. It's now 2.5 minutes to go. Brutal Base trying to find themselves back into this series, but Ascension Helios looking a lot scarier now. As we see Josh now trying to force a center for Bubbly. So he puts it into the corner. Prospect going to try to take it down the field. There's only Josh back. Trying to pre-jump this actually, and it works out. So now Bubbly trying to turn it onto this, but a great demo by Prospect. Bree now onto it. Prospect now going to try to go for another shot, but it will not face Asbar, so he'll get it out to Josh. So now Asbar up for it again. Dribbin, a quality save from him. And so Dribbin is blasting it into the opposing half, and there's a bit of a rule 1 on the side of Brutal Base, but it will not matter too much. It's now Dribbin again trying to get it downfield. Asbar is going to clear that one out, but really it's, you know, 1 minute and 40 seconds left, Chloe. We're just seeing again Ascension playing really aggressive. You know, you see it in their positioning, not giving so much space to Brutal Base, and they're really making it, you know, almost like hell for them. They just cannot do anything Brutal Base at the moment. So essentially, you gotta credit it to them. They've adapted very well in this series.
Yeah, exactly. Like even the communication is on point. Like what I just saw was Bree passing it back to Druben, and Druben I didn't expect Bree to not go for the ball, but she just left it. So like the communication from them is like really great as well, which you can see in the passing plays and in that kind of stuff. It's like really great.
Yeah, exactly. Communication is so important in Rocket League, and so if the comms are on point, then it's going to be a much easier time for the team. And I think Ascension Helios, they've you know, upped their game in almost every aspect, and it is showing in how they're playing. As they got 45 seconds, still a goal lead, trying to equalize in this series. As driven, a shot towards net. Josh's going to save it, but it's still really dangerous. As here comes Prospect, he can't manage to get contact with the ball. As now Asbar try to push it out. Dribbin Just leaving it for Breeze. Now Breeze going to try to take it herself. Not much boost to work with though, and it will be in the hands of Brutal Base again. Prospect, bit of a risky push there. Probably going to try to take it down the field, but Driven again, being really solid and just going to try get this one out. It's now Bree into the corner, just looking to waste time now. Burn time off the clock, as we are seeing Bubbly for one last chance, but it will not phase Driven at all. He'll put it down the field, and inevitably it will touch. Ascension Helios tie up the series. A 1-0 win in Game 4, and they're starting to look a lot more scarier going into this match.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, they're really looking scary now because like I haven't really seen like despite the 5 shots that they had, Brutal Base, they didn't really have any pressure in my opinion. I don't know if you saw that as well, but it's like Ascension Helios like really dominating the whole field here.
No, I would 100% agree with you there. You know, sure, 5 shots on paper sounds great, you know, even considering that essentially they only had 1 extra shot, but a lot of Real Base's chances, you know, they weren't that, you know, convincing, I would say. Oftentimes they weren't amazing shots, and, you know, with Ascension, they're like, oh, an easy save there. Whereas with Ascension Helios, I feel like a lot of their chances were like, oh dear, this is a bit, you know, could be really risky for the opposing side. So, yeah, I think
it worked.
Yeah, it's just the way it works. So, yeah, going into Game 5 of this series, it's all tied up now, as we're seeing Prospect. Oh my goodness, he's doing it himself again. I just love the patience of him, and takes it past the 2 defenders, and that's a really quick way to get yourself into the game.
Yeah, exactly. Prospect there just waiting for the challenge from Josh there, and he just nails it right into the net. Great job from Prospect, and you see the confidence shining right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You just love to see it, you know, for him to go for a play like that, you know, it is a bit ballsy, but, you know, if it works, then whatever, it's, you know, it got him the goal, and it's an early lead for Ascension Helios. They don't want to just, you know, show back yet, so they keep on pushing on. That's the right way to go. Is now Brutal Base with a bit of pressure. Bree can't land it, it's a big scramble in front of the Ascension Helios net. A weak shot going wide, Driven manages to force a high touch, and that will take it out of danger. As now Driven losing control of that ball there. Asbar going to try to take himself, but great stuff from Prospect to get it out. As now Bree just trying to keep the ball in the opposing half. Here comes Bubbly, looking to drop it down, but excellent read from Driven. Follow up from Josh, as now Bree is putting it down the field. Asbar though, another shot towards the net, but again, it's not going to phase the Ascension Helios defense at all. It's now Bubbly taking it past 1. Looking to make a center here. He's got plenty of boost to work with, but just misreads it there. As Asbar still keeping it up. A good backboard touch there, and it does force 2 defenders to commit to it, but great touch from Bree as well. And I'd like to mention it again, Chloe, you know, whilst the Brutal Base, they've had quite a few chances, you know, oftentimes it's just like some bangers towards net that really do not phase the Ascension Helios defense at all. Really, they've got to find more quality shots if they want to stand a better chance.
Yeah, they just have to try and get the Brutal Base going that we saw in Game 1 and 2. The Brutal Base that we saw in Game 1 and 2 were like really powerful. They were so dominant, and they were just trying to go for passes left, right, and center, and they worked. So I would hope to see more passing plays or more communication going from them, and not just a banger on net, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the Ascension Helios defense has strengthened over this series, and you can just see it, you know, more shots they will be getting to it, and it just shows how much they've worked on their communication, the rotation, positioning, and it's working perfectly for them. And Brutal Base so far have had no answer to it. As I see Bubbly trying to go for this one, I think he was reading, you know, Driven trying to get to it, but now a demo comes out, and Bubbly now trying to take it out, but he's just traded out of the game, and now a boomer down the field. Prospect trying to chase it down, but Bubbly will beat him to it. Not if he gets to 50 though, and actually it's an open net for Driven if he can find the angle, but no. He cannot get it into the net, but still it is a bit of pressure for Prospect, trying to fake out Asbar. So Bree onto the backboard, where is Driven? Here he comes for the shot, 2 defenders committing for it. And there's still pressure on for Ascension, but Bubbly clears it to the side. As I see Bubbly going up for it again. Here comes Driven onto the wing. It is Prospect now. Try to take it high, looking for a center again. It's onto the backboard. Josh, a good read on it. So Bree looking for a center, but she can't land the touch, and now is Driven just taking it himself. And I would like to mention it again there, you know, Driven in a 3-on-1 situation, yet the brutal base defenders decided to give away the ball, and I feel like if they want more success, they got to keep the ball in the team, get the ball to each other, because you can't just be throwing the ball away for free like that.
Yeah, I think it's just like because of that they just lost 2 games, that they're just trying to play a bit more faster, like trying to play a bit more aggressive, but it's just not working in their favor. Like they just keep like, oh, the ball, and then I just hit it, but it doesn't work like that. They just gotta calm down and like look what they're doing, and then they're gonna play a really good match.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. You know, they just got to kind of reevaluate and say, okay, what do we need to work on? I think one of those things, you're not just getting those quality chances, but keeping the ball in the team. You do not want to be giving possession away for free, especially against a team like Ascension Helios, who have proven to make good use of it as Prospect. Tried to slip it past the defenders there, but he couldn't find a good angle. And so he goes for another center. Josh getting it out to the sidewall for Asbar. There's another shot on net. Bree will clear it to the side. As we see Bubbly getting a touchdown into the middle. Here comes Josh for a shot, but excellent save from Drubin again. Still pressure for Brutal Base, but Bubbly cannot do much of that ball as a Prospect with possession. What can he do with it? It doesn't seem to be much, but a dangerous ball into the center. Asborg going to clear out those. Drubin cannot reach it. Now Bubbly have a 2-on-1 situation. Here comes the down for Josh. So what a play from him. We've seen him do it before, and he does it again. Just sweeping Bree out of the net there.
Honestly, Stellar, this is just nasty. Like, Josh is like, bruh, like, we're just gonna give an open net to Bubbly, but this is just nasty. Bree just couldn't do anything except escape, but if she escaped, then that would have still been open. So this is a really good play and a good communication from Josh and Bubbly.
Yeah, and, you know, this goes to show that, you know, they're finally recognizing when they have space and time, but wait, how?
Hello?
What? Hello? How is that not in? I am flabbergasted, to say the least. I was gonna...
For it or not?
Alright.
I didn't.
I'm just gonna forget that happens. We're just gonna keep on going. Alright. As we just see, there's time ticking down. Bubbly. A weak shot towards net. Bree will get the clear out. And now we're into overtime. And whoever wins this game actually will go into match points. So, important for both these teams now.
Yeah, exactly. Like... But as you said, okay, hello?
Alright.
Yeah, alright. Truman just taking it over Asbar and just trying to put it on net. Bubbly just couldn't get the great clearing. Prospect just yeeted himself into the ball, and it worked.
Yeah, yeet himself as the ball is a good way to put it, Clay,
Yeah, exactly.
My word. Well, I mean, I didn't expect the game to end that quickly, but sure, why not? Ascension Helios, they keep their winning streak in this series alive. 3 games they've won in a row, and you know they've built up, you know, so much momentum in this series, and now they're on to the 6th game. 1 more win, and they will be through to the finals. Do you think they can do it, Clay, or will Brutal Base manage to claw their way back into the series?
We will have to see. It's really close right now because, as you see in the results, it's 2-1. It's like it's not really like one-sided, I would say. But like, yeah, I think both of these teams can manage to take the victory here and go to the finals. But we will have to see who will adapt the best right now.
Yeah, I think that
match point here for Ascension Helios and Brutal Base. They don't have any chances anymore. This is their last chance. If they fuck this over, it's done. Like, you may have been finished first in playoffs, or like not in playoffs, in like league play. As we said before, if you play good on one day, you can beat the 1st seed, the 2nd seed, or whatever. Just you have to play good in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the 6th game of this series. Ascension Helios only 1 more win, and they'll be through to the finals. But as he said, either team can take it. It comes down to who can adapt, who can play the best in not just the given day, but the given game, really. So we'll see if Ascension can come out with a victory. As we see Prospect trying to take this one down the field. Asbar forcing this one out. As we see Drubin just going to push it down the field, bullying Bubbly a little bit there. As now Josh with a boomer down the field. It'll be difficult for Prospect to get it, but he will land a touch on it. Now Drubin trying to take this one out. Prospect and Drubin double committing for it though, and he will give the ball away. As now we see Bree just trying to put a bit of pressure on the defenders, but there's an infield pass coming in, but Asbar cannot land the shot. As now see Drubin Gonna be taking this one out, but this opening minute, Clay, has been pretty intense. And I'm seeing Brutal Base starting to go back to their old ways with those passing plays. Sorry, didn't work out there, but oh boy, if they're gonna be pulling those out the bag again, then who knows how this game could go.
What you said, like right there, Stellar, like if they're gonna pull up the pressure, the passing plays again, they're really gonna get better at this. Like they have a way better chance of competing for the win here. But we'll just have to see it. Like the pressure that they have maintained for this 1 minute and 20 seconds is really great. But like it's going a bit like in between, like back and forth. Like they both have enough pressure to score a goal, but it's just not coming alive right now.
Yeah, indeed, I would 100% agree with that. But as we say it, Bubbly cannot land the shot now. Josh slowing it down, and it's just a scrambler for the net. I don't know how Brutal Base have managed to not score. I don't know how essentially they've gotten away with that, but nevertheless, the counter-attack they're coming out. Josh can't get it, but Asbar will put it to safeties. Now we see Bree take this one off the ceiling. Where is the shot coming in? It is Prospect. It's wide. As now Josh just trying to take it down at the side. He does have Asbar to work with the midfield, but no boost to do it. So Asbar puts it high. A little awkward for the Ascension defense, but Prospect will take this one out. As our Prospect with possession, taking this one up. It's off the crossbar. Now Bree coming in for the finisher. And it's the first goal for Ascension Helios in the 6th game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, great pass from Prospect there on the backboard. Just Josh couldn't get to it. I think he went for the read on Prospect, but I'm not sure about that. But Bree is there for the follow-up, just adapted to the play, adapted to the miss, and now it's 1-0 for Ascension Helios.
Yeah, 1-0. It could be the one goal that they need to win this game, but Bubbly trying to go for another chance there, and the Essentially, there's defense. Don't know how to handle this one, but it is Asbar answering back so quickly here, Clay.
Yeah, here, Bubbly, he just passed it onto the backboard, tried to go for the double touch, just couldn't manage it in time. And Asbar is there, the same as Bree. He was there just for the read, and he scored. And now it's 1-1-all. Like, half of the game remaining, and both of these teams right now can make it happen. So we will just have to see, fingers crossed, from your favorite team. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. We'll just have to see how both these teams can do it. And it is a chance here for Bree. Can she do it? No, Asbar just takes the ball right off of her. As now we see Dribbin putting it into the centre for Prospect. Bubbly though coming right up behind him and removing him from the pitch. As now Bree can't make that read. It's on net. Dribbin, despite his best efforts, can't make the save. And Josh will get the second goal for Brutal Base, taking the lead.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here it's just an unfortunate department from Bree there. I think she could have waited a little bit. Just unfortunately, like, hard for Dribbin to save that ball. But Josh, like, I don't know, he just did a long shot and it worked. Like, the first couple of games that didn't work, and we told him that he shouldn't do that anymore. But it works out here.
Yeah, indeed. Usually I'm not a fan of, just booming the ball, generally. There's cases where, yes, you need to do it, but in that case it worked out. It really shouldn't have, but, if it gets you a goal, then, so be it.
Take it, yeah.
Yeah, you take it. And it's now a minute and a half, and I think that we're trying to go for a pinch there is now Prospect onto the back wall. As we're not going to have much trouble reading that one as he just clears it out and away. So I see Dribbin being a little bit hesitant here, not going for the ball yet, but Prospect will save him as now Bree gonna look to go for this one, trying to get it out to the wing. It looks like she'll just follow it up herself. Not a lot of boost to work with though, and now Bubbly will just clear it down the field. So we see Prospect will look to get to this one, does contest the ball. Now Josh into the corner. Bree now looking to take it out again as now Bubbly, a shooting chance is over the net though, as now Josh trying to take it out, contest the ball again. Now Bree looking to put it down the field, but Asbar challenging again, and it looks like Brutal Base are going back to always. They're managing to, lock Ascension in their half, and they're making it a really tough time for them to generate any chance at the moment. So another shot on them, Bubbly will finish it off, and that could very well be the nail in the coffin for this game.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Like, this really should be the nail of the coffin. Like, the other game that we have with Ascension Helios and Brutal Base, it was like 4-5 if I remember correctly. You're not really like 5-3, half a minute remaining, like estimate. You're not really gonna score 2 goals unless you pull like a kickoff goal. But it still can happen. Like, we've seen it before in like a couple ECC matches that I've played or casted or whatever. We've seen that before, so it can really happen. Just have to believe.
Yeah, you have to believe sometimes, you know, if you think the chances are low, but yes, it can happen, and so as long as it's possible, then you might as well go for it, but the way Brittle Blaze are playing right now, getting their 4th goal there, you know, just showing their class finally. It's taken them quite a while to get back to their usual form, but, you know, showing it here with a 4-1 win, I think it's the biggest scoreline difference we've had in this series, and they're looking very strong going into the 7th game.
Yeah, that was actually a really good air dribble from Asbar, pass to Bubbly, and then that was just open. I don't know how the net was open, but Ascension Helios has to make sure to not leave the net open that much, because it's really going to be the die here.
Yes, indeed. As now the clock ticking down is Brutal Base forcing a Game 7 in our first series of today. So very well done to them. They're keeping the ball alive, but it will eventually drop. I think they're just going to look for consolation, maybe Ascension.
And
Yep, there we go. Prospect putting it in. At least getting one back. Maybe a little bit of confidence going to the next game, but it's now Game 7. Both these teams really got to be playing their best. I feel like Ascension, they dropped off a little bit in this game. They started to become a little bit more passive, which really, that's not the way to play against Brutal Base in my opinion, because once you start to drop back a little bit, and you allow Brutal Base this pressure, then you become comfortable again, and we saw them getting sustained pressure. As we say, they had plenty of shots in this game, Brutal Base. So, I mean, the 7th game is going to be really important. Both these teams have to be playing at 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Brutal Base, like, it's probably a weird joke, but, like, Brutal Base, their playstyle is kind of brutal. Like, they're going for the demos, they're going for the offensive plays more than their defense. Like, their defense is more, like, if Ascension Helios can pull the passing plays off, they can really manage to win. But, like, it's gonna be do or die here for both teams. If you lose, you're out. You're not gonna progress any further in the tournament, but we'll have to see how it goes. Like, it can go both ways. It's literally the moment here for both of these teams, and they just have to try and play their best match ever.
Yeah, indeed. So here we go, Game 7, 5 minutes on the clock. Both teams got to come out with the victory here. Whoever wins this will be through to the finals. Whoever loses will be down to that 3rd place playoff. But both these teams, you want to be in that finals, battling for the title. You see a little bit of a whiff there from the Ascension Helios player there. As now we see Prospect just touching it high. You see Asbar getting a touch back into Bobley. He'll try to take control of this. Now looking to progress it down the field all by himself. Oh, here he goes. Driven. Will though get that save. As now we see another touch. Bree. A bit of a weak touch there. Oh my goodness. That is rather unfortunate for the Ascension Helios side. A bit of panic there, I think, from Prospect and Bree. But Asbar will finish it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Asper just kept his head cool here. But yeah, Ascension Helios didn't really keep their head cool there. Like, Bree could have went for the ball, and Prospect could have went for it later on if Bree missed, which was the case right now. But Asper just keeping his head cool, like I said, just scoring it, easy open net. What more do you want?
Yeah, indeed. You know, an open net, you know, if you're getting in these games, you'll say, yep, I'll absolutely take that. There's a 1-goal lead for Brutal Base, but it could not last long as here comes Prospect. Can't find an angle onto the net. As now seeing Bubbly. Got to take this one downfield. He's got Asbar in the centre to work with. Moves it to the back wall now. Bubbly, look at the angle of the net. What a boomer. And they're just extending the lead here at 2-0.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a great passing play from Asbar and Bubbly. Asbar just trying to pass it back. Just had it a really bit too fast into the backboard. Bubbly just trying to angle his car in such a weird way that it just went in, not being able to be defended or saved by the defender.
Yeah, indeed. As 2-goal lead from Brutal Base, really starting to show up again in this game. Is now Prospect. It's going to boom it down the field. As we see Bree now touching it into the floor there. Asbar and Bubbly working together to get this one out. Bubbly looking for a centimetre, but great stuff from Driven to get it out. As now, see Bree, she's going to go for a bit of a solo play, but she's shut down very quickly by Josh. As we now see Bobley onto the back wall. Here comes Driven. Can't land a touch on it, unfortunately. Is now going to go for it again, try push it into the opponent's half. So Asbar, the weak touch. Bree looking for a centre, but no one's there to receive it. Prospect too late to it. This could be really dangerous as Josh goes for that shot. Driven will be able to make that save as we see Bree now pushing it down the field again. But it's again Brutal Base having loads of pressure on the side of Ascension Helios, and really clearly got to ask, what's it going to take for Ascension Helios to get back into it?
I mean, I would say what I literally just saw here was I wanted to say an open net, but it didn't really work out. Like, they just have to score a goal. Like, if they don't score one goal anymore, that's it. Like, they have to score a goal, at least one, to get back into the momentum, and they can pull it off. They just have to wait and like be patient with their chances, because if you're gonna rush your chances, even though you're 2-0 up or like 2-0 down, you're gonna waste them, and it's just gonna be even harder to come back, basing off of the time that you have.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with you there. You know, it sounds a bit obvious, like just score, but at the same time, you've got to break this momentum of Brutal Base somehow. And if you could just get that one goal, because so far I believe it's been 6 goals in total across 2 games unanswered. So if you can just get that one goal to get yourself set off, then really that can mean the world to you. But Brutal Base still locking Ascension Helios in their half as Prospect. Let's get it over 1. Just about is now dribbling, can't land that touch. Now Josh looking for a shot. He puts a bit wide, and now Bree looking to take control of this one, but the space is closed down quickly as our Prospect trying to get it out. So dribbling. Gotta get to it. It's into the center. Here comes Bubbly trying to make a play. It's onto the backboard again. Here comes Josh for the shot, but it's blocked again by Prospect. They've got to find a clear here though, as Asper gets another chance. Does take out Drubin, and now does allow Brutal Base a little bit of pressure here. So Bree clears it down the field. Josh trying to take a bit of possession. Now looking to make a play himself. He's got player to work with in the middle, but Drubin will just shut it down. But it's a minute left, and really it's looking dire for Ascension Helios here, as they still cannot find any chances to get themselves back into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they have to find this chance, and it's just right now. Like, you have so much time to work on what you're doing wrong before you have the finals, but they just have to try and make it work. Like 40 or like almost 40 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. You have to score 2 goals. It's manageable, but you have to score.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be it here, Drubin. Here he comes for the shot, and finally they do manage to break the dry streak here. Great stuff for Drubin to get back into it. And you've been saying it clearly, they just have to score. 35 seconds is going to be a tough task, but they have a chance of making it back into this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a great pass onto the backboard from Prospect. The defenders just couldn't do anything, and Drubin just there for the shot. Great shot from Drubin.
Yes, indeed. And now it's seeing Bree. Oh my goodness, we the equalizer. No way! How on earth? They've been struggling so long, and 2 goals in quick succession. What a play from Bree to bring it back. And my god, Ascension fans are going to be so hyped, because they're looking to take this game into overtime potentially.
Yeah. Honestly, when I saw the replay, I kind of looked, and I saw like Prospect trying to get like a touch on it, but I think he literally hit the defender and literally blocked him off of the ball, which was like pretty funny to see. But yeah, it's 2-2 here. 10 seconds remaining. I think this is going to overtime. Overtime, game 7. What do you want? It's do or die for both of these teams. Win or get eliminated. Oh, there goes my mic.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the ball will eventually touch the ground, I hope, unless Drubin, maybe he can make a play here. Prospect trying to keep it up. I can see both these teams want to finish it in regulation. They don't want overtime, but there we go, ladies and gentlemen. What more could you want? A Game 7 overtime. Brutal Base, the Ascension Helios. Next goal is the winner. This could be it.
Not like that.
My god.
Oh what my god.
On earth have we just witnessed?
Hello?
I mean...
when they need to score a kick-off goal, they score a kick-off goal. Hello? Hello?
What?
Like, this is like the second game that we don't expect a game to end that fast, and it's like, we're gone. Like, there is no fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I'm pretty happy for this. The underdogs beat Brutal Base in a Game 7. Finally, they do it, and they pull it off with a kick-off goal that we never expected from them.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, good job from Brutal Base for getting so far, finishing first in league play, but it's unfortunate from them to just not pull it off here, as Ascension just having the overhand in the end. and I want to congratulate my prediction to win this one, and I will hope you guys win the finals as well.
Yeah, I just got to say, I am almost in disbelief by that because we're saying to them, right, they just got to score to get back in.
Yeah, they got to score, and then
like, 45 seconds, right? That's when they scored their first goal. And then they scored, like, not even 10 seconds later. Like, they were struggling the whole game.
Yeah, exactly.
To get anything. And then they scored 2 goals as if it's nothing. And then in overtime, a kickoff goal.
A kickoff goal.
Are you for real?
Yeah. Like,
how?
No nerves on them. Like, a kickoff goal, you have like a kickoff, it's like almost open. Game 7, overtime. I mean, I would really freak out at that moment if I had an open net. Of course, I will try to score it, but the nerves, you know? Like, this is a really nerve-wracking moment. Unfortunate for Brutal Base, they played really good, and I hope we will see them next season again. And yeah, they played well. They just have to keep their head up. Like, they played really well, and I hope they stick as a team because they're really fun to watch for me, in my perspective.
Yeah, I gotta say, you know, all the credit deserved for Brutal Base. They do have a 3rd place match later on, and they can earn a chance of promotion, but yeah, even though they had almost a crushing defeat like that, like, I would personally hate to lose that manner. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have lost in almost the exact same, or a very similar manner to that before, but I mean, it really sucks for them, but you gotta give them props because they played very well across this series, and, you know, this is the first time they took a loss in the entire season, so to make it this far undefeated, you know, not an easy feat. So yeah, you know, well done to Brutal Base. You know, came out a great showing. Either team could have won that, to be honest. But yeah, it's Ascension Helios through to the finals, and our next match will decide who their opponents are. I believe it will be TT Paradigm against the GC Pop. And we're going to see who will be meeting Ascension Helios in the finals. So we will be back very, very shortly. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back for our next match on the stream. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.